While being celebrated by your country must be one of the best parts of being an Olympic athlete, retirement can be one of the worst. Our guest this evening is Thomas Hall. He knows all about this. The 2008 bronze medalist in sprint canoeing went from having a singular purpose, being the best in his sport, to struggling with the feeling like he had no purpose at all. And he recently reflected on that experience in an article for the Walrus magazine. Thomas, let's start with the good times, the best times, winning that bronze medal. How did that feel?
There's nothing quite like it. It's this moment that comes after an incredible amount of hard work, in my case about 15 years. And standing on the podium is probably one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life. And it's a reflection of not only my hard work, but all the work of my coaches, family, friends, and all the volunteers and administrators that make sport happen in Canada. So it truly is an incredible moment.
Not much time, though, to savor that, and I think it's true for a lot of the athletes coming back to Canada this week. You were training again, trying to get to the next Olympics, but then just short of the next Olympics, the drive kind of fizzled out for you. What happened?
Yeah, I think, well, what happened exactly was in the middle of my trials event for that Olympic team, I kind of just gave up and stopped racing. And I was tired. I had been practicing my sport for about 20 years, and I had had enough. To get where you need to be to perform at such a high level, you have to be willing to sacrifice a ton and be willing to take your body to a place it doesn't really want to go. Canoeing can be quite painful. So I'd had enough, and I was tired, and so I thought maybe it's time to do something else. And at the moment, it felt quite good. It felt like the right thing to do. And I felt a great weight come off my shoulders. No more pressure, and that was a really nice thing.
Easy to imagine the relief. You say no more pressure. Also, you can eat anything you want. You can wake up any time you want. But then all of a sudden, I know you started to realize here you were, still a relatively young man by every measure other than an athlete's, and maybe wondering if the best days were behind you.
Yeah, you know, I kind of floated through that summer. I thought I deserved some time off, and floated through that summer. And the following year, I finished my undergrad, and then I started a master's. And I thought that master's would kind of kick in and give me the drive that I had had as an athlete, give me that tight schedule and all that I was used to. But it didn't. You know, at first it did, but eventually you start to wake up at 32, 33 years of age and wondering, you know, what am I doing still in school, in a rented house with virtually no money, and well, all my friends have families and jobs and seemed a lot happier than I was.
So you had a chance to go to Rio, not as an athlete, but as someone to support the athletes who were down there and give them a message about how to deal with their post-athletic careers. What were the key pieces of advice you passed on?
Yeah, well, I was there to make sure they were taken care of in Canada Olympic House, and quite a few of them asked me what it was like, you know, life after sport, and I told them that the best thing to do is to do something, and if I could do it all again, I wouldn't have floated through that summer and the following year. I would have gotten a job right away, no matter how boring it seemed. I would have done things like that to pad your resume and get experience and try to find something that motivates you. Because sitting around and doing nothing, though it might be nice for a month or two, in the end can catch up, and it can be very difficult to get your motivation back.
Is there anything you think in your current life, your new life, that can ever match an Olympic medal?
I think so. I think so. There's a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel there. You know, it took me a long time to realize it, but life is full of smaller goals. Sure, I'm not trying to be the best in the world all the time, but I'm trying to be the best I can be now. And it's a fun challenge, whether it's writing or I'm just started a new job, and you know, it's been life is full of little challenges, and realizing that those are extremely valuable too has been critical to me kind of finding a happy place again.
Well, you sure are a good writer, and I suggest to people that they take a look at that article in the Walrus magazine. Thomas, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.